Gottlob Frege was a German philosopher who revolutionized logic and helped lay the foundations for modern analytic philosophy. He developed a formal system that includes both propositional logic and predicate logic with relations. He distinguished the sense from the reference of a linguistic expression. The German thinker believed that meaning is objective and that mathematics could be grounded in logic, a project known as logicism. His notation and ideas influenced thinkers like Russell and Wittgenstein. Though underappreciated in his lifetime, Frege's contributions helped reshape philosophy of language and logic, establishing precision and clarity as key philosophical virtues. Bertrand Russell was a 20th-century British philosopher known for his work in logic, language, and analytic philosophy. He aimed to bring clarity to philosophy by applying the precision of mathematics and symbolic logic. With Alfred North Whitehead, he co-authored Principia Mathematica, attempting to ground all math in logic. Russell believed that many traditional philosophical problems arose from misuse of language. He developed the theory of descriptions to resolve puzzles about meaning and reference, shaping modern philosophy of language. He also emphasized empirical evidence and skepticism, aligning with the scientific worldview. Outside of logic, Russell was a passionate advocate for peace, education, and reason. He criticized dogma, whether religious or political, and championed free thought. His blend of rigorous analysis and public activism made him one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. G.E. Moore was a key figure in British analytic philosophy, known for defending common sense and clarity in philosophical reasoning. He argued that many skeptical arguments defy our everyday experience, which we are more certain of than abstract theories. In ethics, Moore introduced the concept of the naturalistic fallacy, the error of defining good in terms of natural properties like pleasure. He proposed that good is a simple, indefinable quality known through intuition. Moore's precise and methodical analysis of language and concepts had a profound influence on later philosophers, and his insistence on clarity and common sense helped set the tone for 20th-century analytic philosophy. Rudolf Carnap, a German-American philosopher and logician, was a central figure in the Vienna Circle and a leading proponent of logical positivism. He argued that meaningful philosophical statements must be either empirically verifiable or analytically true or false. Carnap sought to build a logical syntax of language, offering formal tools to analyze scientific and philosophical discourse. He believed that at least some metaphysical statements were meaningless because they could not be verified by observation or logic. His emphasis on clarity, formal rigor, and anti-metaphysical analysis influenced both philosophy of science and linguistic philosophy. Carnap helped shape the modern view that philosophy should aid in the logical organization of knowledge. Ludwig Wittgenstein, an Austrian philosopher, is one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century, known for radically transforming his own views. His early work proposed that language mirrors reality through logical form. In that early phase, Wittgenstein believed that the structure of meaningful propositions maps onto facts in the world. He concluded that what can't be said clearly must be passed over in silence, rejecting metaphysics, ethics, and religion as ineffable. Later, in philosophical investigations, Wittgenstein shifted focus to language games and the idea that meaning arises from use. He argued against private language and emphasized the communal and contextual nature of meaning, shaping ordinary language philosophy. Gilbert Ryle was a British philosopher who is perhaps best known for challenging Cartesian dualism in his book The Concept of Mind. He argued against the idea that the mind is a separate, non-physical substance, a ghost in the machine. Ryle introduced the expression category mistake to show how mental states like beliefs and desires don't belong in a separate ontological category. Instead, they are better understood as dispositions to behave in certain ways in given contexts, according to him. The British philosopher differentiated between propositional and procedural knowledge, between knowing that and knowing how. Ryle's work was central in shaping ordinary language philosophy and redefining how we talk about the mind. W.V.O. Quine was an American philosopher who challenged the strict empiricism of logical positivism, especially its sharp distinction between analytic and synthetic truths. In Two Dogmas of Empiricism, he argued that our knowledge forms a web, not isolated truths. He believed that experience tests our whole system of beliefs, not just individual statements. This holistic view suggested that revision of even basic logical truths is possible in light of experience. The American philosopher also rejected the idea of a fixed meaning of terms, emphasizing the indeterminacy of translation. His work pushed philosophy toward naturalism and a more scientifically integrated view of knowledge. A.J. Ayer was a leading advocate of logical positivism in Britain. In Language, Truth and Logic, he argued that meaningful statements must be either empirically verifiable or falsifiable, or analytically true or false. The British philosopher dismissed metaphysical and ethical claims as cognitively meaningless, since they could not be tested by experience. This bold position sought to cleanse philosophy of unverifiable speculation. Even though A.J. Ayer later in life abandoned many of his earlier views, he continued to think that the general spirit of his earlier ideas was correct. His work made clarity and logical rigor central to English language philosophy, and he helped bring the beliefs of the Vienna Circle to a broader audience, laying foundations for analytic philosophy. J. L. Austin, an English philosopher, was a pioneer of ordinary language philosophy, focusing on how we actually use words in daily life. He believed many philosophical problems arise from misinterpreting everyday language. His theory of speech acts revealed that we don't just use language to state facts, but also to do things like promising, ordering, or apologizing. This suggested that meaning isn't just about truth conditions, but about the function of language in context. The English philosopher's careful, detailed analysis of linguistic nuance countered abstract theorizing. His work highlighted how language is embedded in practice, influencing fields from linguistics to legal theory. Peter Strawson, an English philosopher, was a central figure in 20th century analytic philosophy. He emphasized the importance of ordinary language and the context in which it is used. In Individuals, the English philosopher explored the basic categories through which we think about objects and persons. He argued that our conceptual framework is rooted in how we perceive and relate to the world. Strawson also worked on metaphysics and the nature of responsibility. His ideas on reactive attitudes, like resentment or gratitude, suggested that moral life depends on human practices, not only on abstract rules. His work deeply shaped 20th century Anglo-American philosophy.